everyone, it's Reagan and welcome to the start of another week reading vlog. So it is actually Tuesday. It's been a bit of a chaotic morning, but I wanted to start this vlog to kind of show off all the books I plan to read throughout this week. As I'm really excited about my TBR, I also plan to do a bit of an excursion in this vlog and go to a bookstore. So I thought I would take you guys along for that too. But before I jump in and show you guys my TBR for the week, first, a word from this video sponsor, which is The Great Courses Plus. This video is sponsored by The Great Courses Plus, which is a service I have been using now for about 8 or 9 months, and I've honestly just fallen in love with. But if you guys are not familiar, The Great Courses Plus is an on-demand video subscription learning service, which essentially has a bunch of different lectures across a variety of different topics, from history to science to math to travel to leisure, so many different things to learn. And essentially they have over 11,000 different lectures from both top professors from across the country, as well as accredited professionals from institutions like the Smithsonian. I love this service so much, particularly for their history lectures. I was a history major in school, and to be honest, my hunger for learning new things has never really gone away. So I'm basically able to get that classroom lecture feeling from the comfort of my own home, and I have watched a few different lectures at this point. I have taken a class that kind of goes over important women in the Middle Ages, as well as I've taken kind of an overview ancient Roman history course, so I'm trying to kind of broaden my knowledge on some ancient civilizations. And I'm actually about to start another Roman course, which is Ancient Rome, 500 years of history from Augustus to the fall of Rome. It has really good reviews, so I thought this would be a good one to check out myself. I honestly have been having so much fun watching these different lectures. Honestly, could not recommend this service more. I have loved it over these past couple of months, and I feel like I have learned so many new things. And honestly, just sitting in a lecture setting again has been really lovely, and just kind of learning for learning's sake has also been great as well. Like, there's no paper or test at the end of this. I'm just learning to learn, you know what I mean? That being said, I do of course have an offer for you guys. If you go to thegreatcoursesplus.com/peruse project, you can sign up for a free trial to check out their service. I'll also have that linked down below. But again, big shout out to them for sponsoring this video. And yeah, let's get back into the TBR. So the main books I hope to read throughout this week are both fantasy. So let me flip you around and let's chat about them. So my primary focus for this vlog is going to be Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. This is the first book to a pretty popular YA fantasy series that I honestly have heard really good things about. It's dual perspective. Both of our protagonists are either trying to run or kill or capture the other, which is definitely very intriguing to me. Our main character is half human, half kitsune, and the male protagonist basically is trying to capture her because she's stolen like an ancient scroll. I hope it's angsty, I hope it's entertaining, and I hope it has a lot of action and just something that I'll be able to fly through and hopefully marathon throughout the rest of the year. And then once I finish that, I do want to start Arm of the Sphinx by Josiah Bancroft. I read Send Lin Ascends last month and loved it, so I just want to continue on with the series and at least start this, as this is definitely a huge priority for me this month. Those are the books I hope to read for this video. I do need to get back to work now, as today has been actually a little hectic, but I wanted to step away and be sure to start this vlog as I'm really excited about it. But yeah, welcome to the vlog. Keep hitting my glasses. I need to make lunch too, but we'll do that in a little bit. Okay, bye. Making a very exciting lunch of kimchi stew. Just prepping my ingredients. I've been watching a lot of K-dramas and I've been wanting to eat this for like months, so we're making it for lunch. Rice is cooking. All right, step one was I added some pork belly and I just put in half a cup of kimchi and some mushrooms, which I'm going to let cook and soften for a bit. Then I just added the gochujang and I just plopped in some tofu. This was honestly so easy to make. Smells incredible. It's gonna be nice and spicy. The dream, to be honest. And lunch is served. Oh, it turned out so well. Not to brag about my own skills, but also this was really easy to make. Would highly recommend it. Time for a fresh cup of coffee, and I'm actually going to pick up my book. It's like the end of the day somehow already. I don't know how it happened. It completely snuck up on me, but that's why I very much need this cup of coffee. It's evening time, so you know what that means. Walk! Walk! The only activity we've been doing for a year! Another walk, folks. Enjoying the beautiful golden hour weather, walking to Brooklyn Bridge Park, which I guess is kind of hard to tell because it's really intensely sunny outside, but I promise you, it's beautiful. A view that never gets old a bunch of times. We ventured low and near the Brooklyn Bridge. We've decided on our way back we're gonna get some ice cream. Ample Hills Creamery is delicious. But we're officially in Dumbo with my favorite Dumbo. Well, ain't this pretty? Gotta love the carousel. Whew, and Clay and I are home from our walk. We were just planning on taking a short walk, but then ended up walking like 4 miles because it was just so beautiful outside. So we were just enjoying the really, really nice weather. And we're also just excited. New York opened up vaccination eligibility for everyone in the state for 16 plus. And Clay and I were actually able to get an appointment for Thursday, which is just like, I honestly cried. So that is happening later this week. What a thing to include in a vlog that I was not, like if you would have told me, you know, 2 years ago, like you're gonna get vaccinated, you're gonna be so excited about it, vlog about it, would have never thought that was the case. But it's actually much later in the evening because we did take such a long walk. It's like past 8. So Clay went to go pick us up some food so I don't have to cook. Hello, Billy. And I wanted to also pop in and say, hey, I read 45 pages of Shadow of the Fox earlier today with my cup of coffee. And this book starts out quick. The first chapter is honestly gruesome, but I'm really so far enjoying the writing style, and I really feel like I'm going to enjoy kind of the magical components from this ancient scroll and dragon that grants one wish to the kitsune kind of trickster based magic. At least based off of how brutal the first chapter was, I feel like this is going to be action packed to say the least. So I definitely plan to read more tonight, but probably do a bulk of my reading tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday before the weekend. Because today honestly got away from me a bit, but I am just so relieved Clay and I were able to get appointments. So yeah, that's that. Back from a walk, kind of enjoying the moment, enjoying the city, enjoying each other, you know? But anyway, I'm gonna put pajamas on now. Up sandwiches, and now we're going to watch Chloe. Though I think after Chloe we might watch this Vincenzo, which is a new show. If anyone's watched it, let me know. But it's time for Chloe. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I'm here with my coffee. Yesterday felt a bit chaotic, so I have decided to kind of start my morning a little more intentionally with my to-do list. I am a big to-do lister, so that is how I personally really find a lot of organization in my life. So I am going to do that now and have a bit of establish my morning, my day, and the rest of my week a little bit better. I also feel like I haven't seen my forehead in a minute. I got dressed this morning. We're just trying to be on a roll a bit, you know? I promise I worked on my strawberry waist this time when chopping. I saw you guys roasted me last time, so I'm trying to be better. All right, it's been a really productive day. It's like afternoon, so I'm about to make a late lunch, which is gonna be a quick Trader Joe's frozen fried rice, and I'm just gonna jazz it up with some sriracha and an egg. This is a delicious and easy go-to situation, so would recommend. I'm talking like this is some sort of like secret find. This is a well-known and beloved item, but I'm gonna make it now and then sit down and do some reading. I was able to get to page 75 last night, do a bit more, and then I'm going to do a reading check-in on my initial thoughts and feelings for this book. But first, I'm hungry, so let's make this fried rice. Lunch is served. Time to read. Hi friends, so I wanted to check in and do a reading update for Shadow of the Fox because between yesterday and lunch today I was actually able to read about 150 pages. I'm officially in part 2 of this book, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I mean, first and foremost, I have to say it reads really quickly. It starts out incredibly intense, and just the particular trope use within this is kind of like, I'm a big fan of these tropes, and then the overall setting and just the magic and the ambiance is just a vibe overall. But to give you guys more context to the story and kind of how the pieces are kind of set up in the beginning, which I imagine will lead to a domino effect throughout the 3 books. I believe the series is 3 books, because it's good so far. This is a multi-POV fantasy story, but our 2 primary characters and primary perspectives are, one, Yumeko, who is half human, half kitsune. I've already mentioned her, but due to her kitsune nature, she has fox magic, so she's really good at illusions, and she has like a trickster nature at heart. And she has been raised in a remote temple by monks for her entire life, and some of the monks there really distrust her due to her magic that she possesses, but other monks have really acted as her mentor and has also taught her how to use her magic. But overall, her entire life, she's never really stepped outside of the temple, and kind of leaving and exploring has always been looked down upon. In this temple, they have a sacred duty to protect this one scroll, which essentially, combined with other scrolls, allows you to summon this particular dragon once every 1,000 years, and this dragon grants a wish. And this wish has been kind of kept a secret because the idea is this wish, this power, could corrupt even the best of man, essentially. And then the other character we follow is Tatsumi, who is a samurai but also a shinobi. He's part of this like shadow clan, and he's been trained his entire life to be a demon slayer, essentially, and he possesses this really powerful sword which has like demon energy, which has also kind of ostracized him in general because this demonic sword, I think, can impact his personality. And I also think it's like trying to possess him, but other people are like really superstitious of the sword and don't really want to get caught up in his vibe, essentially. But at the beginning of this book, he is sent on a mission to retrieve this scroll, this ancient scroll, from this temple, to bring back to his master, who wants to use it for their own machinations. And that's kind of like the setup, but then the best part and the reason why I'm super excited about this, because the trope at play, ooh, it's so good. Our main character, Yumeko, is obviously fleeing this temple with this ancient scroll, and she needs to go on a quest to basically bring it to another place. She's basically been entrusted by her mentor to kind of accomplish this particular journey, but she is not a fighter. She's really good at tricking people, but she's not great with the blade. She runs into Tatsumi and basically is like, hey, I'll bring you to this scroll. It basically lies to him that she has it, in exchange for him to escort her. And he's like dark and grumpy and doesn't talk, and it really does contrast Yumeko's more playful nature. And like, I can already see the path that is ahead of us. I love journey quest fantasy novels. I love 2 characters kind of brought together by fate having to traverse a landscape to do a particular task. I love this idea of Yumeko having to hide the fact that she has the scroll this entire time from Tatsumi. I love that Tatsumi is grumpy and basically has grown up as a loner with no friends, and I can already see that he's probably maybe a secret softie, and like them probably slowly becoming comrades along the way. I just can't wait for. But the first 150 pages have been great. It was really about kind of setting the stage, setting the context for this tale. The politics are really interesting. Obviously, there are people summoning demons to fight. There are people kind of dabbling with dark magic. And there's also just powerful political figures trying to capture this ancient scroll for the power of it. The setting, the fighting, the characters, it's all really captured my attention so far. And I'm really looking forward to reading more. And I have a feeling I'm going to just continue to love this more and more. Demon Slayers, shinobi, samurai, like fox magic, there's nothing else I could possibly want. But yeah, I've read 150 pages of this and I'm really enjoying it so far. You okay, Matilda? But just back on my usual shenanigans, also painting my nails a nice springy yellow color. All right guys, work is done for the day and my nails turned out really nice, but it's officially time for dinner. I am making something I made earlier this week again, which is steak tacos. I already have some rice made, so I'm just gonna heat that up, but I'm gonna firstly cut up some vegetables and make some fresh steak for this, because it's always better fresh IMO, so I am going to do that now. It should be quick, and I'll be back to my K-dramas. Sauteed the veggies and now cooking the steak. So should be eaten soon. I almost forgot the most important step. The beans! It's pointless without the beans, everyone. And now, friends, it's just all about the assembly. Yum. Matilda and I just doing our thing, watching dramas. And I am gonna read soon. I have my book. It's right over by Matilda's polar bear. So I'm just gonna finish up this episode and then I'm gonna read. All right, drama watching is over and I'm going to read more of my book now. Clay is asleep. I'm realizing I don't think I included him in any of the clips tonight, but I was basically busy, you know, watching K-dramas and he was playing Call of Duty. Classic combination. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Big day over here as Clay and I have our appointments later, but spending some time before work to do some reading. I was able to read over the 200-page mark, Shadow of the Fox, and I'm really liking it. I'm gonna read a bit more before I do an update, but just wanted to say cheers. So I wanted to check in because I read obviously quite a bit last night and I read a bit this morning as well, and I've officially passed the 300-page mark of Shadow of the Fox, and I am liking this. First and foremost, I'm still continuing to love the setting, this sort of quest, and there's just so many different types of magical creatures, but on top of that, there's these different powerful samurai houses. So not only is there like demons and fighting, but there's also an elemental component as well. So I just feel like the setting and kind of the context of this fantasy world is just really rich with a lot of different components that makes it really entertaining. But honestly, I'm really loving the characters quite a bit. As I was kind of hoping and forecasting, it is definitely kind of a quiet, I'll protect you at all costs kind of guy and a sunny disposition kind of girl, and them kind of learning about each other and becoming closer in friendship and kind of relying on each other is really nice and endearing. I also think too, both of them have kind of lived really isolated lives. Meko, because she has grown up in this temple and has only really been surrounded by monks her entire life, and then obviously Tatsumi has been raised to be emotionless and to kill demons for a living and to basically just fight being possessed by his own demon sword. So seeing them kind of grow a little bit closer on their journey together. There's also been a new side character introduced, which adds a little bit of levity and humor to their kind of group as they make their way through. But overall, I'm really entertained by the journey. I think my only thing I would say is perhaps pacing. I think I would like a little bit more time with each scene, only because I do feel like we've encountered so many different types of villains or like obstacles that our characters have to overcome, and the magic and just kind of how they're constructed is so interesting. So I guess just like a little more time fleshing those different scenes out. But so far I'm really loving the characters and the world, and I'm just excited to see how this continues to evolve throughout the rest of the series. I really love the main characters a lot. And this is definitely turning out to be a very entertaining YA fantasy novel. I can see why a lot of people love this. And the setting, like, it has so many things I love. So I know that's definitely a part of my enjoyment factor, which, hey, like, what can I say? Like, samurai, shinobi, demons, traveling through a Japanese inspired countryside. Like, I'm gonna like it, and I am. So yeah, 300 pages down of this. I'm gonna try to finish this today so I can move on to my next book, and also just because things are starting to go down. And it's starting to make me a bit stressed. But yeah, just wanted to give another update for Shadow of the Fox. Entertaining for sure. Back making some lunch, and we're reprising the kimchi stew because I bought enough ingredients to make it a couple times, but honestly, it was so easy to make and it turned out so delicious. Would highly recommend making if you've never had it before. 10 out of 10. I love kimchi. Kimchi stew, genius. And look at her just simmering away. All set and ready to go to our appointment. Wearing something, you know, to keep me warm, but also so I can bare my shoulder. But we are off. Forgot my vlog camera, but I got it right over there. Now I'm enjoying, can I figure out how to flip this around? And now I'm enjoying a nice sit by the water on this boardwalk.
She had a box here, but it wasn't here.
Nice. And we're back, but we're leaving again because we're actually gonna go to the bookstore. As I mentioned, I thought I'd bring you guys along. Clay ordered a baking book, and so I'm coming because I'm using that as an excuse to buy my own book, basically. so that's the plan. A little celebratory book shopping. Hey, only way I know how to celebrate. Spring is here in New York. The trees are flowering. Ooh. And I am grateful. We love spring.
We do.
Big fans over here. This person deserves a neighborhood award for their landscaping. It is stunning. The YA section though, I'm not sure I would have put that here. Located the section I was looking for. Honestly, really impressed with the size of the sci-fi fantasy section. Usually these are really small in New York bookstores. Picked up 2 books. Let's see what Clay's got over here. Hey Clay.
Yeah.
You got a lot. You find your baking book?
Yeah, I think this one is really good for beginners, and then this one is also pretty easy. And then I got these 2 books. If you know anything about me, I love walking, and
Gonna do some exploring.
2 big walking guides for Brooklyn and Manhattan.
Nice. Back, and I'm already changed into pajamas, which I will now be in for the rest of the evening. But I know I showed you guys what Clay picked up already. He's gonna pick out something to make now actually, which I'm thrilled about. Love this new hobby he's taken on. But I wanted to show you what I grabbed. So the first is The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa, which is a translated work from Japan, I believe, but this is a work of speculative fiction. I think it's like dystopian, utopian, about like this island where there's basically a police force that kind of like makes things disappear, but a writer starts to kind of notice that, and their editor gets in trouble. So I think it's just kind of a thriller, dystopian, government style novel. And then I finally have succumbed to the hype and picked up the first book to the Expanse series by James A. Corey, Leviathan Wakes. I've heard such good things about this. I think this is like a space murder mystery sort of thing. It has a lot of books, so I'm kind of excited to get into this soon. I was really pulled in also by this amazing paperback. So these are the 2 books I grabbed from the bookstore. Alrighty friends, I have a snack. Trader Joe's peanut butter pretzels are back in my life. Could not be more excited. A cup of coffee. And I'm gonna sit down and try to finish Shadow of the Fox, or at least get almost finished so I can finish it tonight or start another book later this evening. But just going to relax, to be honest, hang out with Matilda, and probably watch some K-dramas later. Hi guys, so I've just been sitting here enjoying my, evening reading. And I'm loving Shadow of the Fox. It's so fun. It's like exactly what I was hoping would be from like a YA fantasy perspective. My arm hurts. So this camera is a little funky, but the book has printing issues, especially near the tail end, which is so tragic. But like, there's just pages without like half, like a fourth of the page is just missing on some of these pages. And I'm just stuck. Like, I feel like I need to read those words, so I can't move on. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. I feel like this is the first time this has actually really happened to me before. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you an update there. But nothing against Shadow of the Fox. I'm sure this just happens, but I need to find someone who can give me page 291, 305, and 299. So I gotta go on a hunt for those pages. Hey everyone, so I wanted to check in because I have finished Shadow of the Fox. I've read all of the 441 pages of this book. I also FaceTimed Monica. She helped me out with those missing pages, so I didn't miss a thing. I have to say, I really enjoyed this book from beginning to end. I mean, kind of what I was hoping it delivered, it entirely did. I wouldn't say it was like a mind-blowing fantasy read, but I really loved the characters. I loved the setting. I loved the magic. I loved that it was this sort of quest from the beginning, starting out with just our 2 primary characters, but it kind of grew into kind of a larger group along the way, with everyone having their own distinct and fun personalities. It had humor. It had heart-swoony moments. It had great combat, great magic, and just such an interesting kind of historical, fantastical Japanese setting. I don't know, it just was really fun, and I just liked it quite a bit. Again, I wouldn't say that the ending or even like the reveals really were super shocking. Honestly, I'm totally okay with that because of how enjoyable I felt all the other components were in this story, and I'm really excited to see how this continues to expand in the later books. I do feel like this is a series that's gonna build and build and build, and because starting on book 1 that I just love Yumeko and Tatsumi so much, and I'm just rooting for them like in their own personal journeys and them kind of growing close together. Like, I'm just excited to see them evolve throughout the series. But I don't know, I just really enjoyed this. Like, it was so entertaining from beginning to end, like a really satisfying YA fantasy read, and I can see why a lot of people like it because there's a lot to like here is basically what I'm saying. I think I'd give this like 4 stars, 3.75 stars. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. And I've read 441 pages so far for this vlog over the course of about 3 days. I'm gonna start a second book tonight so I can get over the 500 page mark, which is Armor of the Sphinx, which I showed earlier, but I'm really happy I was able to read the entirety of this for this vlog, and especially because I enjoyed it. I thought I would, and it's always nice when it works out that way. So just kind of wanted to wrap up some final thoughts and feelings about this because I was able to finish it. Huzzah! Because I'm chaotic and I'm like in the middle of, I don't know, probably like 7 K-dramas at the moment. I'm gonna jump back to a K-drama I started, goodness, like 6 weeks ago, which is Tale of the Nine Tails, which I really, really liked. I really liked this actor a lot too, so we're gonna jump back in. Right, Matilda? Clay is venturing on a new hobby that I can only stand to benefit from, and that's baking. I couldn't be more excited. He's a little stressed.
Oh.
You gotta put the apron on. And also it's like 8 p.m. and we're just baking instead of making dinner at the moment, but again, I'm not complaining. He's making a buttermilk pound cake, which, let me let that focus, sounds amazing. This is the cookbook he picked up today. Sorry, Matilda, there'll be none for you. And I'm sitting on the couch watching K-dramas, so living the life. His batter is looking fresh. There was a few moments of panic there in the beginning, but he really came through the other side. I think this is gonna be your hand is
folding the cheese.
Yeah, I know. He's like, how do I fold it? And I was like, is this an episode of a well-known sitcom? But anyway, it's time to bake it now, Clay. It's going in the oven. This is take 2 of it going in the oven for anyone concerned. And Clay's also trying to Instagram this at the same time. I guess it's not going in the oven.
We're trying.
We're trying. Do you need help, sir?
Blammo!
Clay's loaf is finished. It looks delicious, but it is pretty late at night now, so pizza rolls it is. Because at this point, I'm prioritizing crash landing on you over cooking. My ideal evening. Gotta love it. Hello friends, good morning. I am up wearing the exact same thing I wore last night. Hey, I made a smoothie, delectable, and I woke up extra early and showered this morning. I feel like a whole new woman. I'm feeling great today, actually. I also wanted to say I read 30 pages of Armor of the Sphinx last night. This starts out quick. I'm just obsessed with this world and this whole setting. I'll talk a bit more about this later as I have some stuff I need to do, but I also want to read a bit more before I do like a full update. But this series I feel like is going to be a favorite for the year. It's just, I feel it in my heart. It's gonna happen. But just wanted to say hello, good morning, happy Friday to you all. And I read 30 pages, woo! You guys already know what's for lunch. I gotta use up all my ingredients. But also, I can't get enough. Crash landing with you, obviously with the lunch. Oh, I'm so sad to be watching this again. Hi friends, it has been a limited check-in day on this Friday. I've just been kind of heads down, but as you saw, I made lunch and I read, as I said, 30 pages of Armor of the Sphinx last night, and I was actually able to read 30 more pages so far today, so I thought I'd give you a bit of an update. But if you're not familiar, the Arms of the Sphinx is the second book to a series, the first one being Senlin Ascends, which is a book I read last month and loved so much. It's essentially a fantasy story that follows our main character Senlin, and at the beginning of the first one, he is traveling to this place called the Tower of Babel, which is this ginormous structure full of all these different floors, each floor kind of having its own flavor, and there's a lot of politics and power kind of at play at this location. He has always dreamed of traveling here, and he makes that dream come true with his new wife as they're traveling there on their honeymoon. However, right when they arrive, they lose each other. So this series is really about Senlin entering the tower in hopes of finding and locating his wife. I cannot emphasize enough how unbelievably original and also visual the writing is in regards to this tower in itself. It's just so immersive and also a little bit terrifying. Like, you quickly get this sense of how unbelievably overwhelming a place like the Tower of Babel is. Each floor has its own distinct personality, and each floor also is sinister in its own way. Like, even if it appears to be welcoming or wholesome, like, you should always kind of go in with a bit of skepticism. Through Senlin, we explore this tower and kind of follow him on his adventure. He kind of meets comrades and not so helpful people along the way. Each floor is its own kind of adventure and obstacle as well. Obviously, throughout the first one, it was actually really intense, and I loved all of the character moments and development there. The second one really pretty much takes off right where the first one leaves off, and this second one at least has a bit of a pirate flair to it, if you would imagine. I really, like, truly, there's a lot going on this tower, but it definitely kind of opens up with a bit of pirate vibes, airship vibes, and the politics are really not letting up. And I'm really curious to see how this continues to play out. I know there's gonna be 4 books, so I feel like there's a lot to experience, and it's all very harrowing. In terms of the second book too, it's immediately captured me right away. I really appreciate that throughout this entire series, there was initially like guidebook entries at the beginning of each chapter, and that kind of transforms into Senlin's own personal diary and thoughts, which I always kind of like. It provides a little bit of introspection or even a bit of a sneak peek to the chapter, which just really keeps you connected with him as a main character. It just continues to be so clever. I love the writing, I love the characters, and I just don't know what else these characters could even go through. Like, I know the tower is just going to get worse. Like, we have barely started, and I'm also really impressed by how much time I feel like the author is going to let pass, which I think is an interesting component to this as well, because as the more time passes with the character trying to save his new wife, like, they inevitably are going to be transforming and kind of living their own lives separately. So even if they're able to find each other again, like, will they be even able to recognize each other? Like, I don't know. It just adds like emotional stakes to the whole thing. But I've read 60 pages of this so far. I'm gonna try to read a bit more before the end of this vlog, but we'll see. I'm not sure if I'll be able to have enough time. But with that, I have read over 500 pages for this vlog, and I just kind of wanted to give an introduction and some initial thoughts and feelings of this. But so far it's great. Love the Sky Pirate situation, and just like the technology that's in this, I just think it's so interesting, and everything is just so descriptive as well. I don't know, I'm such a huge fan of this particular series, and I'm excited to keep reading. Hi everyone, and welcome to the end of the vlog. The next day, I just wanted to quickly pop in and wrap up everything I was able to read, as I just love both the books I ended up featuring in this vlog. First and foremost, that's my washing machine. First and foremost, I read the entirety of Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. I am definitely picking up the rest of the books in this series because I plan to binge this now throughout the rest of this year. I loved this book. I thought it was a super fun YA fantasy, like everything you could really want in a nice classic quest style story. Great characters, great magic, and I feel like I'm going to love the next books even more. So this was such a joy, which I obviously read from beginning to end. And then I was able to read 80 pages of Arm of the Sphinx by Josiah Bancroft, which is book 2 to the Senlin Ascends series, which is just, I feel like, going to be an all-time fave for the year. I've since read more of this, but I did read 80 pages on Friday. Sky Pirates, everything you want. Just the creativity and the imaginativeness of this particular series is just so refreshing, and I am just loving every single second of this. But yeah, that is everything I was able to read. Again, big shout out to this video's sponsor, which I'll leave a link to down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye.